Gareth. You're watching the Hub Online Network, and today I am joined by Joan Henderson of the Equality Project. Why don't we start off by just hearing a little bit about yourself, Joan?
Okay, I am now a senior. I don't know, many of you probably saw the signs at the house advertising to the world that I was having a birthday. Anyway, I in the past have felt that I needed to have a fulfilled retired life. And so the Equality Project has come into my life in a very big way bigger than I thought it would ever be. But I have found real fulfillment in the work that I do in helping other people and seeing them fed, seeing them come for emotional support, for spiritual help sometimes. So it's a real all-round beautiful work that I've been able to enter into.
Why don't we find out what the Equality Project is all about? So so when did you guys get started? What do you do, and why did you decide to do it?
Okay. It all started with Our Lady's Bible study that I have at my place, and Shelley Magwood came to that Bible study, and she had just had to quit her job because of PST becoming an issue in her health. And she really had this huge burden to see people around her that she was seeing every day in Cache Creek that either didn't have enough to eat, didn't have enough money to pay their bills, that were in wheelchairs, that just had all kinds of needs. And she thought, she also looked around, and there were so many people that could let the fruit or the vegetables in their garden go rotten because they didn't know what to do with it. They had way too much. And so she thought, we need to find a way to take excess from people that have excess and be able to give to people that don't have enough. And so we talked about that at Our Lady's Bible study, and I said to her at one point in time, well, you know, Shelley, you can't do it on your own. You need a board. You need to decide what your goals are, what your mission statement would be, what is it actually that you want to do. And from there, we decided to strike up or get a board together of people that were interested, which happened to be on my birthday in October 2014.
Wow.
Yes, so we started this board and we started deciding what we were all about, people helping people. And so the way we started was just making meals, mostly at my house, and just taking them to people that needed food. And they were so receptive, and people started hearing about what we were doing and started giving us little small donations, but helpful to buy food. And so we did that. And then at Christmas time, we would decide to put hampers together. And our church, a couple of churches, they were quite supportive of helping us get the hampers together, so we would get basics of what we knew people needed. And then on Christmas Day, we would take them a hot Christmas meal to the people that we had already met at the door, and we would sing a few Christmas carols, give them the hamper and the hot food, and it was received so well. And by the time we had the second Christmas, people had heard about us, and the donations came in so quickly that Shelley's house was full. She could hardly have Christmas at home. So then we decided we needed a place to call our home for people to come to. We could see many people just really needed friends and companionship. And we needed a place to call, like if we had donations, that it could go there. And really it had a lot to do with prayers to our God, because by the middle of March, we had somebody come to us and say, we would like to buy a building for you guys. Yeah, it was amazing. And so that's what started the Equality Project building. That's what started us going, and by the middle of May, we had a sneak preview, we called it, and anybody, any of the businesses, any of the community in Cache Creek and Ashcroft that were interested in coming to take a look, they could come and take a look. And by that time, the people that bought the place for us also put in a food safe kitchen for us. And if any of you have been there, it's a beautiful, nice, big kitchen that we have, and lots of stories to tell about that. But so by the sneak preview in May, we still didn't have appliances, and we didn't have utensils, and didn't have food. And so some people said to me, okay, you have this much, but how are you going to keep going? And I said, I know my faith isn't very big, but I said, God has provided this far. I think he'll keep us going. And so sure enough, by the time we opened, I think it was only the next week that we opened. We opened in May, so it wasn't long after that sneak preview. We were able to start with one new stove and one second-hand, and one new fridge and one second-hand fridge. And some people had donated an old chest freezer, I think one more small one, and that's how we started. And some utensils came in very used, but we made do, and people started coming, and so that's how we got started. That was in 2016 that we opened.
Was the people that bought the place for you, was that like an angel benefactor, or is that something that you can give a shout out to?
It's somebody that we can give a shout out to. Maybe not publicly.
Okay.
But we know them, and the lady is actually on the board now too, because she cares so much about what we're doing. Yeah.
Okay. So you're there, you're set up. What was the process like over the next 2 years? So from 2016 to say 2018, what were some strides and hurdles that you guys overcame?
Well, probably the first one is anybody going to come, right? Like, we can open the doors, but is anybody going to come? And I think our thinking of how things were going to work and how things are today, in those first 2 years, that was our big growing time, because we didn't know how much people actually need community, how many lonely people there are out there. And I find especially men that are alone really need companionship. And so we find that probably one of our really important things in the first 2 years that we saw developing was friendships. And people would come there because they knew that they could get a free or membership per month cup of coffee and sit and develop friendships. And we didn't know where our volunteers would come from. We need volunteers to keep going. We started with the first 2 years with 2 days, open 2 days, but we've been able to develop that into 3. Eventually, we'd like to be open at least 5, if not 7.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, that's all in time and in growth, right? So the first 2 years, we also developed the downstairs. We had nothing downstairs except we knew we wanted to bring in clothing and basic housewares and some linens, a little bit of furniture, or at least keep a cork board to have people say, I'm in search of, and then we would go looking for it, or people would call in and say they have this item. So those were all really big growing pains for us into trying to figure out how it was all going to work. And we weren't even a society at that time, so those first 2 years we became a society, had to be a society before we could even apply for charity. And so getting people to realize we're there and realize the worth of what we're doing. Often those first 2 years, we didn't know for sure what we would cook the next week, and how we would pay our bills, but somehow that has always stretched enough that we could pay our bills.
So how does that how work? Like, have you just been lucky enough to people just come by and drop off buckets of food and 3 wallets of full of cash, or what? What was the sort of way that you guys brought money in? In the beginning.
In the beginning, probably the biggest way was word of mouth. And then neighbors would see that something was happening at that building that had been closed down for quite a while, and they got curious. People would stop in, or we did contact newspapers, our newspaper. Even in the beginning, Facebook still wasn't a big thing. Yeah, and then a few volunteers started helping, and every person that started coming to the building would then do word of mouth, and sometimes that created new donors. So we also, at the beginning, we decided that because we're called the Equality Project and we want to call our place We're All Equal. So none of us as board or volunteers are paid. We now have one paid member through a COVID grant that we got to help us with sanitation, but he's the only, two, 1.5 people that we pay for sanitation reasons. Other than that, we're all equal. None of us get paid. We seek to sit beside people and visit one-on-one like this, not I'm up here and you're down here, or the other way around. I'm down here and you're way up there. We don't want that kind of a view at our clubhouse. We want to all be friends on a flat surface.
What does it look like for you guys when? Oh, sorry. Hang on. Let me back up here. Getting volunteers. What is that? Have you had a steady stream of volunteers since you guys started? Has it been sort of the same core group of people that have always volunteered since you got started? Or you sort of have people sort of come and go as volunteers?
Yes, both. So some volunteers, they really decide this is where they find fulfillment. They find joy in serving people. Some volunteers come because they actually need it for themselves. They need that kind of giving of themselves. They need to see how other people are so that they can actually, I guess they feed on it a bit, or they can realize how fortunate maybe they are in physical ways, in health ways, in financial ways. So then, yeah. So some of those people, they decide to stay a long time. We have those that come and go, either for reasons of moving, or now they've got a job, or they just get tired of it because maybe their thinking hasn't become as passionate as some of ours. So we've had both. We've had people come and go. We're always looking for more volunteers. The more volunteers we get, the closer we'll get to being able to open another day or two.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do the same question for the members of the clubhouse. So have you sort of had the same group of people come in that enjoy the companionship, enjoy the food since you've started, or have you had people sort of flow through in and out? Have you had people come, go, come back? What does that kind of look like?
And actually, yes to both of those questions too. We have a table that loves coming there for coffee, and they come. We don't even have the coffee pot on, and they're already there every morning that we're open. And that's what we're calling the bubble, because they come, and that's what they come for, is the friendship. And they've been there pretty much since the beginning. We've had a lot of Clubhouse members that have come and gone. Sadly to say, we've had a few that have died, quite a few that have moved away, quite a few that have moved in. And so we get those regulars that come and go, or the regulars that come all the time, but also new ones, and also ones that have been with us and not anymore.
So before COVID, everything was 3 days a week. Everything was going pretty good. What was the impact of COVID on your guys' group and Clubhouse at the start?
Okay, we began with takeout meals only. It was a huge blow for our Clubhouse people, the ones that come for the food and the companionship and emotional help. I could just see the sadness in their face, and I could see the distress and the worry, and you could hear it from them, and almost like they'd walk away with their shoulders down, and oh, my heart just about fell out of me. But anyway, yeah, as it got closer to where we could open, I said to one gentleman one day, well, I think within the next couple of weeks we'll be able to open. And the day that he thought I said we would probably be open, he was there by 9 o'clock in the morning. So I could tell how important it was to a lot of the people. Some of the people, I think it was the middle of June, we could open again. So I think we were closed other than takeout meals for 3 months. That's a long time for people that need more than just themselves and the walls to talk to. So, but it was a bit slow in starting. Some people were still really, really afraid to come back. We still have some people that will stand at the door, wonder if they should come in. Sometimes they ask for a meal to take out, which is fine too. But now before the last big, not lockdown, but almost.
Set of restrictions?
Yeah, set of restrictions. We were back up to feeding around 40. Yeah, so now we're still probably feeding 30. They aren't all coming at the same time, which we're really glad of, because that way the tables can be staggered still so that we're socially distancing. And now we're making sure that they're wearing their masks. The first time around we didn't have that rule, so now they're wearing their masks. Not everybody's happy about it, but most people are understanding.
How does becoming a club member work? What are the qualifications you have to have? What do you got to do? And what perks do you have access to if you became a member?
Okay. Our Clubhouse membership, and that, remember, I said we're all equals, so right from the board level to volunteers to Clubhouse friends, we all pay $10 a month.
Okay.
And then if you haven't paid your membership for 3 months, then you lose your member in good standing. So $10 a month will get you, you can come for lunch 3 days a week. You can come for coffee before that, and usually there'll be a goodie there if you're going to sit and enjoy your coffee. Then on your way out, you can take a meal and a soup twice out of those 3 days. And then you can go downstairs and look around. There's a whole section of the downstairs that's got clothing and basic needs. There's a section that's got some household goods and some linens. And then there's a little section with furniture and things and a corkboard where people can put down what you need. So there's that. And then in Shelley's office, she's got a little section that's now called the Little Store. And if Clubhouse person feels they can't buy a whole package of toilet paper or a whole package of paper towel or a whole big bag of sugar or a whole big can of coffee, those kind of things, we have them individually bagged so that you can get a small little thing of coffee or one roll of toilet paper or a small amount of sugar, and then pay, it's very little, a quarter or a dollar, whatever Wow. the price is on it. But yeah, so that's been one of the latest things. Also downstairs, we've got winter coats, and we've got some children's toys and some secondhand books.
Basic needs would include what, like toothbrushes and toothpaste and stuff?
Yeah, shampoo and conditioner. Sometimes we have dog food and cat food,
Okay.
depending on the donations that we get. Sometimes feminine napkins and toiletries that older people may need, or people might need. Soaps, razors for men, usually. Yeah. Things
Awesome.
like that. Mm-hmm.
So, have you guys had a meeting about the possibility of the new restrictions that are being put in place?
We had a meeting through email to decide that we could stay open because when COVID first came down, I called and talked to Work BC, and the closest they had at that time was that we were a restaurant, and so we tried following the rules for a restaurant. It's not quite the same, but that's kind of the protocol we've followed. So we have a safety plan in place, and can you repeat your question, please?
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if you guys have had a meeting about what it might look like with the new restrictions.
So now with the new restrictions, we had emails going back and forth, trying to find out from the board how they saw it and how they felt about staying open versus takeout meals. We decided, because we're an essential service, we could stay open. We have put a few more protocol rules into place, making sure that everyone's wearing a mask, that everyone at the door is asked whether they're healthy. We have plexiglass in front of our serving table. The volunteers are wearing shields even while they're working. We wear gloves while we're serving the food. So those are the things that we decided we needed to review now while the new rules came in, and we made sure that we had a meeting every morning this last week to let the volunteers know what our stand was. So that now it may be stiffening up a little bit even with the restaurants. So I'm just in the process of looking to see if there's any more rules coming down as far as whether we can stay open or whether we'll have to go take out. Yeah.
When COVID started, there was a bunch of different groups, people that were trying to get together to help people that might not be able to help themselves during COVID. And the Equality Project was part of that helpline. What was your role? How many did you get? Lots of people that needed help? Did you drop off a lot of stuff?
Actually, it wasn't as busy as we thought it would be.
Oh, there you go.
There was one lady that came for a man that was very sick, and she picked up food every week for quite a while, twice a week actually. And there were a few people that called, and we were able to bring them some things, but not very many actually. Yeah.
All right. And as far as I know, you guys are the only group of your kind based in Cache Creek.
Yes.
Do you ever sort of do crossovers with Soups on, E-Fry, any other groups like that?
Yeah. So E-Fry and us, and we're beginning to work more together all the time, which I'm really pleased about. In the last 2 months, we've received a huge amount of meat through Elizabeth Fry, but it came from the food bank in Kamloops.
Okay.
But that has really helped a lot. And we're actually able to give packages of meat to people, to some of our Clubhouse friends that come, and we're telling them we've got extra meat if you need some meat to take home. So they're big smiles when they're going out the door now. Yeah, and the other ones, Elizabeth Fry and
It's like Soups on.
Soups On. So we feel that Soups On has served many of the Clubhouse friends that we have. So we have purposely not wanted to open on Fridays because that's their day.
Gotcha.
And they like to do that, yeah. So, and we're very happy for them, and we feel better about it because that's one day we know that at least they can find lunch somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, are there any other? You say you just got a lot of meat and a lot of stuff like that. Is there anybody that you would like to give sort of a thank you shout out to during this interview?
Yes. So that was the food bank in Kamloops and Elizabeth Fry. We've had huge help getting new commercial appliances from Tech. United Way has helped us. Red Cross has helped us. Horsting Farms has given us piles of bread. Desert Hills has helped in some donations. And the last one that we got, Gareth actually came to take some pictures of us getting a load of food from a place called Food Rescue. Harvest Second Time Around, I think it's called, or something like that. And it's a government organized company that has rescued food from different places. We haven't actually found out where it's coming from, but places that have excess.
Okay.
And they are sharing all through Canada. It's actually a national thing that they're giving places like ours extra food. So
that's
that
awesome.
came in on Monday.
I'll post that video at the end of this one. I'll put it all together and
Yeah,
and so you guys can see that.
That'd be great.
Sort of just to wrap things up here. Moving forward, you're hoping to go to 5 days, maybe 7 days a week, depending on your volunteers. But how can people get a hold of you and sign up if people are timid or don't know what to do? How can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of us through our telephone number, which offhand.
I'll if you can't remember, I'll put it at the bottom
Yes,
of the
please.
screen right now.
Yes, please. And also we now have a website, and we also, you can find us on Facebook under groups. And you can always visit personally to the Clubhouse from 9 till 1, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
You guys also recently reached charitable status.
Yes.
So what is the difference between being a society and being a charitable organization?
Being a charity now means that if you want to give a donation for more than $25, we will give you a receipt.
Okay.
Yeah, that is huge for us because many corporations, they like to give money to charity places, but they also want a receipt, right? So that gives us that opportunity now.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to say at this time? Are there any challenges that you're expecting to happen in the upcoming holiday season that you guys are prepared for and you would like to let people know about a service that you're going to be providing?
Right. So our biggest challenge is not being able to have the doors open on Christmas Day this year for a full sit-down dinner. We will be open to offer a hot turkey meal to go.
Okay.
But to be able to be open and serve as many people as we usually do, it's not possible with our facilities and with the amount of volunteers, so it'll have to be a take-home meal. Our Clubhouse members usually get a hamper to take home with them, and we're still looking for donations so that we can buy people these basic needs that we put into the hampers. And also, I guess one of the challenges is we have now all these gorgeous new commercial appliances, which we're very thankful for, but our hydro bill has skyrocketed because of all the electrical. And so people will say, oh, they've got lots of food, they're making really good meals now or whatever, but how are we going to pay our bills, right? So that's probably our biggest challenge right now, is still having people that care about helping us pay the bills.
Right.
Yeah, so that's probably the biggest, and also being there for people when they say close the doors and do just take home meals. That concerns me over Christmas a lot.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, Joan, and I'll let you get out of here now.
Okay.
But we will follow you guys moving forward, and thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, everybody who has donated and will donate to the Equality Project. And yeah.
Thank you, Gareth, for caring about us.
Oh, well, as much as I care, it also comes with the job. I want to see everybody succeed, especially groups that help other people. So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Right on. So to everybody at home, thank you. Happy holidays, and we will see you guys soon.
So, just want to show people food that we have been receiving because of COVID. Extra food from Food Rescue. Thank you very much, Food Rescue, and Harvest Second Time. So we just got a bunch of these things today, and we're going to be divvying them out to give to people who are in need. Maybe people have lost their jobs, or their income has dropped, or they just are really short of funding. So we'll have extra food to take home. It takes $10 a month to become a member of the Equality Project, and then you can come and get extra food for your home and for your family. Here we have chicken, a whole bank of it, and we had a whole bunch more.
we received from the food bank in Kamloops through Elizabeth Fry. Thank you, food bank from Kamloops and Elizabeth Fry from Ashcroft for sharing with us. Here we have bread that's actually come from Horsting Farms. Thank you, Horsting Farms. We have food that just came in today from Food Rescue again. We've just received a bunch of eggs. We'll be divvying them out in a dozen or half a dozen. We have food that's come in bulk from Desert Hills. Thank you, Desert Hills, for your contribution. And over here, we have our COVID sanitation engineer that I think it was through Red Cross that we have gotten grants. So thank you, Red Cross, for letting us have James, because he's been a huge help to us with all the extra work that it takes to try to stay COVID friendly. Oh, and United Way, I think, also has contributed. Thank you. Here we have Patty. She's just divvying out into individual portions so that people can take home and they don't have to take a whole lot. This is a special birthday for one of our Clubhouse friends who is 91 years old today, and one of our board members decided to make this lovely Black Forest cake for him.